The government is on the offensive in the southern corner of Syria. It wants to reverse rebel gains over recent months, but it is not fighting alone. The regime is backed by Iranian fighters and their Lebanese allies, the Shia armed group Hezbollah. This triangle of territory is strategic. The southern province of Daraa is a short drive to the government's seat of power in Damascus. It is also close to the rebel supply lines from Jordan. And the neighboring province of Quneitra borders Hezbollah-controlled territory in Lebanon, as well as the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Military analysts close to Hezbollah say it is no coincidence that the group has invested manpower to push into these regions.
Hezbollah is extending its front line with Israel. The South Lebanon front is approximately 70 kilometers. If they are able to extend this to the Golan, it becomes a 150-kilometer front. This will put pressure on Israel.
Hezbollah has suffered casualties in Syria. While its deployment there has helped keep the Syrian government in power, the group has also made enemies across the Arab world. But its advance toward the Golan may be part of a new strategy. Hezbollah does not shy away from saying that it has a greater military presence near the Syria-Israel border. And its Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah hinted that South Lebanon and the Golan are now one front against Israel. He said the group would no longer comply with the so-called rules of engagement with Israel. It followed an Israeli attack on a Hezbollah convoy in the Syrian sector of the Golan in January. It was seen as a message that Israel would not tolerate Iran and its ally Hezbollah on its border. Hezbollah retaliated by targeting an Israeli military convoy in the contested Sheba farms.
Exchange of operations, if you will, between Hezbollah and Israel, it has raised the stakes to a degree. From an Israeli perspective, they fear that as Hezbollah and Iran gain more and more power as compared to the regime itself in Syria, they increasingly see that regime control of areas bordering the occupied Golan is tantamount to Hezbollah and IRGC control.
Hezbollah's fighters are now spread across Syria, Iraq, and in Lebanon. Some argue that the group cannot afford a major escalation with Israel. It is already on the front line of the regional Sunni-Shia conflict. But if it captures Quneitra, it would push the rebels away from its strongholds in Lebanon, and Hezbollah would have a new military front with Syria and Iran on Israel's border. Sana Khudr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.